everyone, it's Anja here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and this video is all about me designing the cowl and sort of my thinking process behind it. I hope you enjoy this video. So when I was designing this cowl, I wanted to try out the stitches, and of course, you know, you don't want to do a whole width because you're just trying things out. So this is what I made, sort of a little scarf. It's only the height, obviously, of the panel, but it's only, I think, 30 stitches. And yeah, it was really good for me to try out the stitches, and not only that, it was the beginning and the ends that were most important. So in a way, this is like the diagram that I have drawn for you, but of course I have corrected some of the edges here because it just didn't work out, but I didn't worry too much about that here because I just wanted to see what it would look like, you know. And yeah, I'm quite sort of attached to this bit because although it's not going to serve for anything now, it's sort of told me that the idea of you know, the three colors and then how I was going to intersperse them. That's also the reason why sometimes you had to do a just a single line of red or of graphite, because I wanted to break up the bits. If you notice, this bit here is not like it is in the pattern. I did this I wanted to get this finished because I knew what I wanted, but this bit here, I replaced it by the crossover stitch. I knew I was going to replace it, but at that time I didn't know just yet which one I was going to put there. So yeah, that's not in there, but all the rest is. So that's quite a nice piece that I have here. Then here, I was trying out the different squares, and I started out like this. Now I thought nobody's going to wear that. I was going to do them in all different colors, so you'd have a spotty sort of circle on your back. No, do you know, I wanted, because it was a wearable, I wanted to keep it calm. Yes, the stripes were enough. I thought the stripes were colorful enough, so I did come up with the different designs of the squares. I did them in this row, which I didn't sort of think that worked out. So this is like the winter square, this is the spring square, and then I just came up with the others. You know, the autumn square where it was this one, and then the summer square where it was this and this opening. I thought that was better than doing these ones here because they looked a little bit scraggly. You know, sort of like that is better, I think. You know, sort of the holes were too big. It didn't sort of go with my setup. So yes, I'm thinking that yeah, having it in the darker color, just simply the darker color, I think that would sort of make it a wearable almost, you know, because you have all these colors, all the lines at the front, and then you have a quiet one unicolor back, and I think that was yeah, what I wanted to achieve. So I do hope you like the idea of Poncho. If not, and you've made your bits into something else, please do show me, because I do want to know what you've turned it into. It would be really interesting to see. Most of you are a member of my Facebook group, so please do go to Ophelia Talks Crochet on Facebook and ask to become a member, and yeah, show me, or if you are already a member, do show me what you have made with your bits. I'm hoping that you have made the right color choices as well, and I'm hoping that you like the idea of a poncho. I am a real poncho girl, and yeah, so this was for me. I really liked the idea of having a poncho as my first cowl. I have to admit something. I actually made this type of poncho before. There is already a video of this poncho on my channel, and this is it. This is that poncho, and I shall tell you the story about this poncho. When I first took up the hook again, I realized I could make myself a poncho. And I've always liked ponchos. I've had them when I was younger, so I wanted to make myself a poncho. Also, what I had done at that sort of same period, I made my first granny square. And I'd never made a granny square. I'd always done lines or something else, but yeah, a granny square was a completely new thing to me. So I just went online and I started making these squares. I got the wool from a shop, and you know, this wool isn't even, some of it is Aran, some of it is DK. You know, I made every mistake possible with this poncho, okay? I just did squares that I found online, and none of them ended in the same amount of stitches. So some of these have more stitches than others. When I came to putting them together, I thought, what have I done? I've made so many mistakes, but I put it together. It's my poncho. I wear it at home. As you can see, I don't know whether you can, but it's sort of a little bit, it's been used, okay? So it's not looking freshest anymore that it could look, but there we go, okay? And then on the other side, I had all these, see? And oh my goodness, did I love making this. I just went for it. As you can see, this is quite a simple panel. Double crochets, granny clusters, double crochets, V-stitch, double crochets, granny clusters, double crochets, and so on. Okay, so this is all I knew in the beginning, and I just went for it. I loved making it. I loved doing the lines. I have to say I love the color combination, but obviously, yes, the yarn. Yeah, I think it was Aran. I don't know what, you know, but take a look at this. And I'm more than happy to show you this poncho, as you know, is not perfect. Look at this side. Look at it. I made every mistake possible, right? I started all right, and then I lost some stitches, and I added some, and I lost some. And do you know what? It's by doing something like this that you then realize afterwards the mistakes you've made. But I don't mind. It was this poncho taught me so much. I didn't realize, yes, I did realize with the squares, and I didn't so much realize with this, but then after that, you know, you sort of you learn your lesson, and it's only by doing it. So when I was thinking of the cowl, what can I do, what can I make, how can I do this, what would be a good idea, you go on Pinterest, don't you, and you start looking at ideas, blankets. Oh, for a long time I wanted to make a blanket. But I thought, for the first cowl, I wanted to make something smaller than a blanket, just so that I didn't make you buy too much wool and then it would all go wrong. Then I thought, what about redoing my poncho that I made so many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago now, where I made all those mistakes. This is my chance of correcting those mistakes. I went online and I tried to find poncho patterns, and lo and behold, I couldn't find one for a poncho like this. There were panel ponchos, you know, this is what I call a panel poncho. So you have a big panel and then you have another panel with squares. There were, but not the same as this, not one panel with lines and not one panel with squares. So yeah, once I realized that, I thought, great, that's it. That was my unique kind of idea, and I have already made a prototype. I thought to myself, I've already made all the mistakes in here. You're going to be able to do this because it'll be my second attempt almost. So having this in mind and knowing what I have learned over the last few years with keeping straight edges, working out the patterns, doing other stitches, all those lovely stitches that other designers use and that I've done in a cowl that my muka always used to use. That's crochet is only made up of so many stitches, so it's the combination of all those stitches that make us unique, because we are going to combine them in this way. Here, this was all I knew at the time, so I think I did well. So I will link that video below, so do go and have a look at that video, because I think I have myself twirling around in the park or something like that. Yeah, and I was really proud of this poncho, and I still wear it when I feel cold sometimes. I still reach for it because I do love the poncho. I didn't think about it. Look, this flower sticks out like a sore thumb, when I wear it. Yeah, like I said, some flowers are just too big. Look at this. When I empty my dishwasher, this one always gets wet because I hang, I lean over, and this one touches everything. So yes, it's not ideal, okay, and although it's nice to have 3D granny squares, I didn't want to impose them onto you. So I thought, yes, having the lines would give you a lot of opportunity to learn stitches and to learn to keep a straight edge, not like mine here, but also to make it a real wearable. I do not wear this out. I wear this at home because I find it's a bit too much. To make this a wearable, if I had made this in one colour, I think I would have worn it. A simpler granny square here, one colour, yes, I would definitely wear that, because I would have the lines and then the one colour, and that is exactly what I did with these here. Okay, so we have the one background, the one back, which is plain and simple, and yes, it has variety. Yes, it has a lovely pattern of holes. Okay, so it can be quiet and lovely, but with the holes, it makes, if you look at it, it makes a lovely pattern on your back. So I think that adds to it. But then here we have the front, which I just love. You can see people looking at you and looking at all the different stitches when you're wearing it. So I'm thinking, yes, this for me, I have succeeded in what I wanted to do. I have recreated my mistakes here. I have recreated my poncho. I have corrected my mistakes. I have been able to put it into something that I think is wearable. I hope that you think that too. So with the colourful pattern at the front, the quieter pattern at the back, and I think, yes, I love ponchos, and making this in the DK in comparison to the Aran, I think it's much finer. It has a much more, the stitches come out much nicer. It has, it has a lovely texture on it, and there's lots of little holes sort of to peek through. I'm thinking I really like this. So I do hope that you have, first of all, that you have enjoyed crocheting this, that you have spent time enjoying your hobby, that you have learned stitches, that you have learned sort of how colours go together maybe, that you have learned to keep a straight edge. And if you don't like the idea of a poncho, which is fair enough, that's fine. I was worried about that. I hope that some of you like the idea of a poncho, but if you don't like the idea of a poncho, I hope that you will have enough alternatives to make it into something useful. If you don't like it at all, just put this granny squares around the edge and put it away as a baby blanket. The first person who's pregnant in your family will get it. Turn it into a pillow. I really like the idea of a huge pillow, or turn it into 2 small pillows. Whatever you do with it, I hope that you have enjoyed crocheting it. And if you did, then I think my setup was a success. So I'm sorry to talk. I'm sorry about this video. I did it because someone asked me, sort of, you know, the design process behind this. I'm clearing up after I finished filming, and I found this, and I thought, I've got to do that video. I've got to talk to them about how I came about doing this. And yes, so do go and have a look at that video. It's quite a few years ago now. I've started videoing this, and I have no idea when this was. Let's see if I can find it quickly. But yes, I can't even find YouTube now. But yes, so yeah, I've always liked having a poncho. I've always liked the idea of a poncho, and to have that as my, you know, as my first. I'm looking. No, it's not. Oh, why is it not in the list? To have that as my first, you know, cowl, I think it's a wonderful thing. Okay, so I have found it. Look, here I am, and this video is called Ophelia Talks About Making Her Poncho. And look at that. Let me just turn this off. Here I am. But do you know what? You can't even see that I made all those mistakes. You know, you can't even see that it's skew-if on the side. I've worn that poncho so much, I have to say. So yes, I am really pleased. I have, yeah, I've been able to, what am I doing here? Well, yeah, I am showing you, but I think I'm showing you how to do some of the stitches. I'll have to look at that properly and sort of some measurements. So yes, I mean, it was an original Ophelia, look, there's me. It was an original Ophelia Talks idea. And once I had set my my sights on this, I knew it was the right thing to do. So I hope you have enjoyed this this cowl. I hope you have enjoyed that it was secret. I think there's another cowl in the making. I think you probably know what it's going to be. I'm not going to say too much about it here, because if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But yeah, there we go. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Go and look at that video. I'm going to watch it now as well, because it's piqued my interest. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!